I don't believe this. Day one is over, and Jay Few is the new TFS Pod Predictions champion.
Ooh.
I mean, what
Ooh.
the...
Welcome to TFS Pod, always known as Review Show Podcast. It is 24/7 Lou, and that's...
Ricard saying, how could you do this to us, Roman? How could you get COVID and get Jay Few the title?
And that's...
The one-man band, and I hit the dusty trail very early on in that event.
Yes, folks, this is TFS Pod show, otherwise known as a Few Show Podcast. But let me tell you, folks, from the highest mountain to the lowest valley and everywhere in between, we are the beasts of the East, the best in the West. This is TFS Pod. So, welcome.
Yeah,
you see, there's a new intro. I don't know if the one man had heard this already, but this is our new intro. We're going to have to the show. And
Woman Band could probably tell you need to work on, saying it without stuttering, but yeah.
It makes it much more fun. Anyway, well, you see, there we go. That's the progress. At the end of the year, we'll see how it sounds. So, yeah, in this episode, we will be talking about day one recap or recrap, I want to call it, because that main event match was changed. But first, before we get to that, the one-man band, give us that line that everybody loves.
Even he doesn't want to talk about the scoreboard.
Yeah, just get the scoreboard.
Oh my gosh. All right. Scoreboard is, we've got the first event for the year taken down. So scoreboard is 1 point for Jay Few.
Oh, Beal.
0. Yeah. And that's the scoreboard.
Yeah, frame that, Jay Few. I know you're listening. Frame that. Frame that scoreboard. So yeah, WWE Day 1 was a whole big mess from the beginning. When the main event match changed, and what do we have on that, Ricard?
What do you mean? What do we have on that in terms of the rules?
Yeah, what happened that night?
Well, Reigns and all kidding aside, here's hoping of a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
But Reigns
absolutely
tested positive for COVID, so he was not allowed to perform that night. And in order to avoid just removing a match from the card, they subtracted by added Brock Lesnar to the main event match for the WWE title. And spoilers, Brock now has 2 out of 3 New Day members having lost their first major main event title to him.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, Xavier Woods, you're next.
That crown's gonna get taken away. Anyway, let's go. What was the first match we had in this one that we did not predict, but we should have added to the? We did. Well,
no, we did make predictions for it, but not everyone was able to submit picks.
So it didn't count
because it was a late edition, so it didn't count. Thank goodness.
No.
And that match was Sheamus and Ridge Holland versus Cesaro and Ricochet.
Who got hurt?
And Ridge Holland, yes, had a broken nose, or at least that's what they said in kayfabe.
No, there was blood all over there. There was blood in the ring.
Oh, so he actually did have a broken nose. Well,
yeah,
either way, it definitely was to the detriment of the match because all it did was further bury Cesaro and Ricochet because Sheamus just ended up winning solo.
Yeah.
When his team was supposed to be the heel team, so yeah, I rate that match a 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's true. 1.5. I wasn't rating that one, but I'm gonna rate it now. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.
A 1? Okay.
You know why? Because I should have had that 1 point.
Oh my god! It should have been me.
It should have been me, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to when the show really started. The first match to start off the show, which was the Usos versus the New Day. And on this one, it was a consensus pick, right? Everyone had Usos on this, and the winner was
Yes.
the
winner was the Usos. I mean, at this point, I think we're all kind of expecting the Usos to keep their championships.
Yeah.
Up until WrestleMania, probably, if not longer. Mostly because I think the tag team division is just so hollowed out at this point.
Right.
That I don't see anybody right now that can take it from them. Not without the right storytelling going. So.
Yeah, it needs a credible storytelling to take it away from them.
But to be fair, Usos and New Day always managed to have a good match. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was your run-of-the-mill tag match. There wasn't a lot of unpredictability going into it, so they kind of went through the motions on this one.
Okay, so you gave it 3 out of 5, and I was going on a 10 points. I gave it a 6 based on that, like 6 out of 10, but which is almost what we were going through. Same thing there. So
yeah, by if you know how fractions work, you also gave it a 3 out of 5, really.
Yeah. So I know that One Man Band, you didn't get a chance to catch these matches, did you? And yes, that's true. So let's go to the next match, which is Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. I didn't like this match. Drew McIntyre took the victory on this one. I gave it a 4.5 out of a 10. What did you give it, Ricard?
Surprisingly, I was expecting this match to be a hell of a lot more of a squash match.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked how they showcased Madcap Moss on this. I'm also going to give this a 3.5 because it wasn't a bad match. McIntyre kept it looking interesting, and it could have gone either way, to be honest, because Corbin being on the outside could have led to some shenanigans.
Yeah.
So I'd say 3 out of 5. It was not. By the way, 3 out of 5 is the weakest. This pay per view was pretty decent to good, I'd say.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 5 is like the low bar here. I don't think there were any overt bad matches. There were just decent matches, and then that was a little better.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And then we all picked Drew McIntyre, and out of that one, we had an injury come out of that.
Nobody thought Madcap would. No, nobody thought Madcap would win, and I was very disappointed to see I didn't know Drew McIntyre got injured.
But that was
they had an interview segment to write him off, where Corbin and Madcap both attacked him, wedged the chair around his neck, and then stomp. McIntyre's written off TV for a while. Yeah.
And also, too, I thought that maybe they could have had something happen with Madcap and Happy Corbin helping him, and then have build up another story. I think we talked about that during our predictions, where something like that could happen.
It was a possibility. It was a possibility, but I honestly thought, I was like, come on, Madcap. No, McIntyre's been geared in the way where he's reasonably the next challenger for Reigns' title. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to lose, but I like that there was some they were able to get a good match out of each other.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then the next match we had was RK Bro, said it right this time,
Bro,
versus the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and RK Bro won this one.
Oh no! Let's not forget the highlight of this match. Which honestly I should deduct a point for, really, was the celebrity guest star appearance of musical performing artist Migos.
Yeah.
Who were at ringside and pretty much just I don't know what the point of that was. It's just, hey, we're hip with it.
Yeah.
By the way, nobody in Georgia seemed to know who the heck they were, so.
Yeah, and they were just sitting there like okay, we have a front row seat. Like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, we have a front row seat. They're cheering them on. They came out with RK Bro. Look at that.
Yeah, you got it. You said it wrong.
Yeah. You see, you spread it to me, Lou.
Yes. By the way, I want to mention that on this show, there's a little horse on this show but it was not. But no animals were harmed during the making of this podcast.
Yes, my voice is a little not at its best right now. But
not a live horse.
But yeah, I don't know what was the point of that. They came out. They weren't even able to, choreograph the synchronized, pose on the turnbuckle correctly. One of them got off too early.
Oh
in
yeah,
the background. The other two stayed on for too long. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was like, what was the point of that? But either way, RK Bro retained. There was a good handshake moment afterwards. I honestly, I was thinking to myself, man, what about if Street Profits turn heel now? But no, they didn't. They just had a respectable match. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't a bad match. It just, what the heck was the point of that segment after the match?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was not a good ending to the tournament. I wish you had a heel team in there, and not the Street Profits, with to get to the tournament. But well, look I guess this will go down in the record books. Like, you not always will have two face versus heel. That rule that they always have. You sometimes get face versus face, but yeah, I gave this
and the more rare heel versus heel, but yeah.
Oh yeah, even that, but those are good. I want to see those. I want to see more of those. All right, but on this one, I rated it a 5.5. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 3 out of 5 on this one.
Ooh, okay, so we're about the same. Okay. And yeah, okay. The next match we had, which I did not get to catch because I had to run some errands at that time at night, but I know you did catch this one. It was Edge versus Miz, The Miz. Tell us about this match, Ricardo.
All right, so first off, way to go on Miz's entrance. His wife still looks amazing. Which really his wife was the main story piece here, because Miz was doing moderate offense, but every time Edge would get an advantage of some kind, his wife was kind of on the outside, making the appearance of like might be getting involved, might cause a distraction sort of thing. Then as the match kept going, it just became more and more apparent she was going to keep getting involved. At which point, I believe she struck Edge or something on the outside, and Miz hit his finisher. I believe he hit a skull crushing finale. Edge still kicks out, which big props to that spot. I thought it might have been the closing moment. As Miz is flabbergasted that the ref didn't count a 3, and he's like, wow, like I just hit my finisher. And he's looking at Maurice. He shoots very quickly to the ramp. No music plays, but Beth Phoenix, and then the camera just switches shots to Beth Phoenix, who's like super mad. And she and Edge were for some reason trying to look like Mad Max, like two people out of Mad Max. Phoenix had half her hair braided in one way.
Oh yeah,
like she was in all black. And then her music hits like in a delayed fashion, and then she starts making her way down the ring. Maurice hightails it out of the ring. Miz is distracted. Spear. 1, 2, 3. Edge wins. Not sure where the story goes from here, because if you have a mixed tag match, Edge already got the win here. Faces already got the win. Normally, you have the heel win when it's 2-on-1, and then you even the odds, and the heels lose in the follow up. But I still like the match. A good false finish.
I want to add one thing to this before you finish off the ending on this one. Going into this match, the scoreboard read, I had 3, you had 3, the one-man band had 2 points, the randomizer, the wheel, had 2 points, and J Few had 3 points. And in this one, it was 3 versus 2 that picked in this one. 3 of us, which is the big table, It was you had it, the one-man band had it, and I had The Miz to win this.
Yeah,
one.
let's just cut to the chase. The important people picked The Miz to win because we know what logical wrestling booking is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two kids picked Edge because they went with the nostalgia pick. And what do you know? We're apparently catering to the nostalgia picks here because Edge won.
Yeah, and that changed the scoreboard.
And there went our chances of winning.
Yep. Yeah, because then Jay Few had a 4-point. He had 4 points. The Wheel had 3. The one-man band was already gone for the night with 2 points. And you had 3 and I had 3. So, yeah, the night and the scoreboard-wise.
Our last hope wasn't that 5-way, but no way Lesnar was not leaving with the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then the next match we had, which was Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Again, I missed this one. I was out running an errand. I had to run at that time of night. What happened? Just give me a quick look on this one, Rickard.
This match was, I think it was just as good as the Miz Edge match. It's because of the storytelling tugs. I think it was just as good. In terms of the actual match, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of here. Liv was able to do a nice homage to the spot Becky did a couple weeks earlier. She had wedged, in case you don't remember, on Raw, Becky had wedged Liv's arm into between the steps and the post, and then kicked it a couple times, and then said, "Oh yeah, Liv, if you want a rematch, you're more than welcome to get it after injuring her arm." So. And in-ring psychology makes you think, wow, she's being vindictive and she's targeting the arm. Becky needs that arm to lock in the submission.
Mm-hmm.
So, Liv did not tap out. Becky won off a surprise and sudden manhandle slam. That was all really to say.
Not even
Most of the rest of the match is kind of a blur. No, that's her finisher. It's the manhandle slam.
Oh, okay.
It's her pinfall finisher. Becky has 2 finishers now: the
Oh.
submission and the pinfall one.
Oh, okay.
It's the move she used to beat Bianca Belair
Okay.
in like 26 seconds.
Oh.
So that's definitely a finisher, just because it finishes matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the next match.
But yeah, the next match, which was the last match, and with the addition, it was high paced for what it's worth, very very quick. For a 5-way match, I believe it went like 8 minutes or so. It did not go that long, but everyone brought their A game here. I believe you saw Lashley spear. I forget who he speared, but I think it was Lesnar. Actually, I think he speared Lesnar.
To the railing. I by around that time period I had come in.
So does that mean that Lesnar versus Lashley perhaps?
Yep, that's what's going to happen because, well, the spoilers on the follow-up here. I'm apparently the only person that... Actually, no, I'll give credit where it's due. Jeffrey, thank you for watching Raw, for those of us that can't sometimes. We are getting Lashley versus Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. They did the Fatal 4-Way that was supposed to happen on day 1 on Raw to determine the number 1 contender. So, yes. Not only did Big E lose the title to Brock Lesnar, but Big E will also not be getting a rematch.
Right? What a mess.
Just like Kofi Kingston.
Just like Kevin Owens.
The trends continue.
Mm-hmm.
The closing match, but going back to the day 1 match, the closing of the match was superbly well done. It was Lesnar hit the F5 on, I believe it was Big E. Then he hit the F5 on Rollins. And then Kevin Owens went to hit the stunner on Lesnar. Lesnar caught him by the foot, picked him up, hit him with the F5. So he F5'd 3 people at this point. Lashley spears him from out of nowhere. If I'm not mistaken, he goes for the Hurt Lock on Lesnar. which at that point I was like, oh yeah, no way Lesnar's tapping to the Hurt Lock. But the way they had Lesnar escape the Hurt Lock was Big E broke it, went for the big ending, hit the big ending on Bobby Lashley, and then Lesnar hit him with another F5 to get the 1, 2, 3. So yes, and most of this all happened in the span of like 8 minutes and a couple seconds. So we got ringside barricade breaker, a table spot, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins teaming up shenanigans, and then multiple finish spamming. So not a bad match for the time. They went for quality over quantity in this one.
Okay, and what do you give the pay-per-view?
Actually, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I gave that match a 4 out of 5. In terms of the pay-per-view, pretty standard, 3 out of 5. I give it.
Wow. All right.
Not good, not great, just decent.
I gave it a 5. Same thing.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dang.
What was that?
Tell you what, my man, you didn't miss too much aside from seeing basically 2 out of 3 of the New Day members lose their WWE titles. I keep saying it. When Xavier wins the WWE title, get ready to see him lose it.
You see, there it is. Good news. Xavier Woods will win the title. Bad news is Lesnar will beat him for it.
Same story, by the way. Big E won the title, defended it against a decent number of people, and then he just lost it to Lesnar out of nowhere.
Man.
Oh.
And I predicted the part-time era. Here we go.
Well, you said we'd probably end on that. There's still a possibility we will, but yeah. Your prediction for 2022 came early. It came, Lou, on day 1.
Yeah. And congrats, Chief. You enjoy it what lasts. Not much.
Again, I'm tired of this. Somebody get me a chair.